What's going on YouTube? My name is Darren. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. Fashion, fragrance, grooming. That's what we talk about on this channel. So if you're into not only smelling your best, but looking your best as well, that's what you're going to get on this channel. That's the content you're going to get. So make sure you hit subscribe. Don't forget to enable notifications by hitting that bell icon as well. So that way, anytime I upload a new video, you get notified. All right, guys, on today, I'm going to be re-ranking my Dior fragrances from my La Collection Prive collection of Christian Dior. Now, I did this video a few months ago, but just because I just recently got Acqu Di Gio in the collection, and I got a 4.2 ounce bottle of Mitza, which I never thought I would be able to get. And I honestly end up getting it for almost what you would probably pay full retail for now in a Dior boutique. I was able to get it, secure a bottle, so super happy about that. And so I'm going to be talking about that today. It made me go back and really analyze my Dior collection, and it made me want to re-rank these fragrances. Now, I'm going to make sure I leave the card up here. For the first time that I did this video, I was wearing a Christian Dior sweater, and I ranked what I had at the time was 10 fragrances from this collection. Now I have 11. So I'm not going to watch that video at this time, but after I do this list, I'm going to go back and look at it to see how this list has changed for me over the past few months. But that's what we're getting into today, so this should be fun. I love, again, not like, I want to make sure I reiterate that I absolutely love all 11 of these fragrances. I love all 11, but just to have some fun, I'm going to rank them. So me putting one in the 11th spot versus the number 1 doesn't mean that I don't love number 11. I love all 11. So I want to make sure I made that clear. So I'm going to run the intro. When we come back, we'll get into it. If you want to see how I rank these, you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it.
The Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's jump into this video. Before I do that, I want to give you a quick style tip. Now, one of the things that I like to do is I like to draw inspiration about what I may want to add to my wardrobe or what I may want to wear for the day from other images on social media. All right, now I think the first person that I heard do this idea was Cam Newton, so shout out to Cam Newton. He talks about how he creates a lookbook on his phone. So what it is a collage of pictures from different things he's seen other people wearing on social media. So he'll, of course, do a screenshot, save it, and put all these things into a lookbook. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a huge fan of Tom Ford when it comes to his menswear attire. So not so much of the casual stuff like jeans and I guess polo style shirts and things of that nature, but suits, dress shirts, shoes, the more dressy shoes, pocket squares and things of that nature. I love Tom Ford. The suit I'm wearing today is a Tom Ford suit. It is the Shelton. And what I love about the suits is you can see here they have these very wide, what we call peak lapels. This is probably 4 or a little over 4 inches on the lapel. What you'll notice a lot of times is you only see these kind of size lapels on more custom type clothing. When you go into your big box retail, that's one of the things that, I'm so glad I grew in my knowledge of menswear, is that you'll see very thin, skinny lapels, 2.5, sometimes 3 inches wide. A lot of times not even 3, 2.5 inches wide. So they're very, very small. The broader the lapel, to me, the more masculine. And again, this is a peak lapel. This is my latest addition to my Tom Ford collection. This suit is what you call a notch lapel, but as you see, it's still very wide, probably 3.5, 4 inches on this lapel as well. So that's one of the things I love about Tom Ford suits. Now, I only have 3 Tom Ford suits in my entire collection. 2 of them I got at a really good price. The most recent one I paid close to full retail for, but I love them because of the quality of the material and, of course, the styling of the suit itself, again with the wider lapels and things of that nature. Very, very masculine. I told you guys I was able to get these boots. These are some Chelsea boots from Tom Ford, That's how I kind of come up with some of my ideas. These Chelsea boots with this suit or that suit is absolutely going to crush it this fall and winter. So I said this the other day, if you don't have Chelsea boots, make sure you add them to your wardrobe for the cooler months of the year. They look killer with suits. All right, now let's get into the ranking of the Dior fragrances. Again, this is from their kind of exclusive collection. A lot of brands have their private collection, like Tom Ford, or more exclusive line, Tom Ford private blends. You have the Le Vestiaire de Parfums collection from YSL, of course the Chanel exclusives, and one of my favorites, of course, the Christian Dior La Collection Prive collection. So in the 11th spot, it's the most recent acquisition here, and this is Acqu Di Gio. You guys can see I've only had this a couple days. There's a big dent in it. I've been rocking this, man. This is rose, patchouli, jasmine, and cedarwood. I love it. Right now, it's one of the lighter fragrances from my entire collection. Again, I do understand the more time I have this, it'll probably macerate and mature, and it'll probably perform and project even better. But I haven't had as much time with this one, obviously, as the other, so kind of almost by default, not necessarily scent profile wise, but more so kind of performance and time spent with wise. Right now, this would be in the 11th spot, but don't get it twisted. This is a phenomenal fragrance, and I really have been enjoying rocking this. Again, I've got a nice little dent in it and haven't had it but a couple days. So, but it's in the 11th spot for now. In this particular collection, this is called Acqu Di Gio. I think it was initially called Gris Montague or Montaigne or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And they rebranded it now as Acqu Di Gio, but it's really good. Make sure you check this one out. In the 10th spot, and anything that's outside of the top 3, I feel bad because I love all of these fragrances so much, but there has to be some order. So I would put this one in the 10th spot right now, Bois d'Argent. Bois d'Argent. This is iris, cypress, myrrh, vanilla, and there's some slight leathery touches as well when it starts to dry down. This is so good. If you love powdery fragrances, if you love fragrances that feature the note of leather, this is a fragrance that I highly recommend you check out. Like I said, I love all of them, but right now we'll put this one in the 10th spot. Obviously, I like the other one a little bit more, but this is really good, guys. So check it out. This is called Bois d'Argent in the 10th spot. In the 9th spot, I'm gonna go with this one, Eau Noir. Eau Noir. What this one really is, guys, is thyme and sage up top with some lavender and vanilla. As it dries down, this is very culinary when it opens. That thyme, sage, spiciness, it almost comes off of smelling like curry. If you've ever had Indian food, been to an Indian restaurant, you walk in and you smell curry in the air and different spices. That's kind of sort of what this reminds me of in the opening. So it's very unique. I wouldn't say challenging for me. It may be challenging for some people, but it's very unique. But then it dries down to this almost gourmand fragrance, similar to what you would smell with New Harlem from Bond Number 9 with that lavender sweetness with the coffee. So check this one out, guys. This is really good. It's in the 9th spot, but I absolutely adore it. This is called Eau Noir. All right, guys, in the 8th spot, this is their take on sandalwood. This is Santo Noir. Santo Noir. This is sandalwood, ambrette, rose, musk, and I would say there's kind of a slight incensey vibe to it as well, but this is really about the primary notes is the sandalwood and the ambrette, which of course gives a musky presence to this fragrance. This is really good. Definitely not Middle Eastern like you would get from a Oud Ispahan, but just has some Middle Eastern touches to it to me. But guys, this is really good. If you like sandalwood, this is probably the one that you would probably gravitate to the most towards because that's the main note here. But I absolutely love it. It's in the 8th spot, but again, that's not saying it has anything to do with my love for it. It's just the other ones are so dynamite. But this one goes in the 8th spot right now. This is Santo Noir. All right, guys, in the 7th spot, I'm going with this one right here, Puli Imperial. Puli Imperial. What you get with this one, of course, is patchouli, coriander, sandalwood, and this kind of lemony mandarin orange opening. There's definitely a citrus touch to it, but of course the main note is the patchouli. This does remind me somewhat of Coromandel from Chanel. The way the patchouli is used here, although that one of course is with the patchouli and white chocolate. This is more with the patchouli and that coriander here with that kind of citrusy presence in the opening. But I absolutely love this stuff. So check it out. This one's a little bit harder to find, but if you can find it at a good price, it's definitely worth the price of admission if you love patchouli. This is Puli Imperial. Next up on the list, this is in the 6th spot if I'm not mistaken. This is for all of you honey and tobacco lovers. This is Tobacco Allure. In the 6th spot, this is honey, tobacco, peach, plum, and incense. If you love honey, you gotta check it out. That's all I can say. If you love honey, if you love tobacco, this is a must try, okay? The peach plum combination in here is perfect because those are two of the sexiest fruit notes that you can use in a fragrance. When you compare that with a smoky incense and some honey and tobacco, we have a winner. So it's in the 6th spot for a reason. I absolutely love this stuff. So glad that we're about to get into the cooler months of the year. I do not wear this in hot weather. Just me, it is cloying in hot weather, but in the cool to cold temperatures, fantastic. Check it out. This one is called Tobacco Allure. All right, guys, now for the top 5. I've always loved this fragrance, and it enters in the top 5 in the 5th spot. This one is called Spice Blend. Spice Blend. This is rum, cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, and coriander. And as you can see, it's all about the spices. That's hence the name Spice Blend. But this is kind of a creamy fragrance as well, and maybe some sandalwood here because it definitely has a creamy facet to it. So the opening is boozy, but it's really contrasted well, really dominated by those spices, primarily the cinnamon and the nutmeg here. And then again, I start to get this kind of creaminess as it dries down. This is just the perfect kind of spicy, gentlemanly fragrance, and I love this stuff. That's why it's in the 5th spot. So check this one out. A lot of these fragrances are discontinued. I don't even know about this one. I think it may be, at least for now, but if you can find it, check it out. This one's called Spice Blend. All right, guys, now in the 4th spot, this fragrance was actually made in inspiration by another dessert. I can't remember the full story, but Christian Dior was somewhere and some kind of dessert was made and the inspiration came for this fragrance, but this is called Vanilla Diorama. Vanilla Diorama. Vanilla, cacao, amber, mandarin orange, and rum. This is fantastic. It is fantastic. This is balanced so well. It is blended so well. Like, you don't really, it transitions, but the transitions of this fragrance are so smooth. And I think that's really what I'm trying to communicate. You don't get too much booze, too much sweetness. You get the perfect amount of everything. This is so freaking good. Just check it out. Do yourself a favor and check it out, guys. If you love gourmands, you'll love this one. And with all the superstars on this list, is saying something that I have this in the 4th spot. I love it that much. I think a lot of people sleep on this one, but again, that's what I love about fragrances, man. Everybody has a different opinion. Mine of this is, I love it. It's in the 4th spot for a reason. Vanilla Diorama. All right, guys, now we're in the top 3. It took me a long time to put this list together. I literally went back and forth moving fragrances around, okay? Now, the top 3 were the easiest to pick, but the order of the top 3 was the hardest in the entire list. These are the 3 that always change for me. Can't believe this, but in the 3rd spot right now, Ombre Nuit. Ombre Nuit. This is rose, pink pepper, amber, and patchouli. That pink pepper gives a rosy presence, so it kind of supports the rosy, but it's a little bit more fresh, on the fresher kind of green side. So you get that here, but of course you get the amber and the patchouli. It's one of my favorite fragrances of all time in my collection. So that's really saying something that right now I have it in the 3rd spot. It's just something about the other 2. Maybe it's the exclusivity right now of the other 2 because they're harder to get. I will admit that may be contributing to it, but when it gets this close with these top 3, sometimes that's what, makes you go in a particular direction when you can't really decide just based off the scent. So right now in the 3rd place for me, because this is still readily, easily accessible, Ombre Nuit. All right, guys, in the number 2 spot, this is discontinued. I've talked about it a lot. Fevedelicieuse. Fevedelicieuse. Right now, I put this in the 2nd spot, number 2 spot. cherry, tonka bean, cacao, praline, caramel, sandalwood, gourmand, lover's dream. That's exactly what this fragrance is. It's a shame it's been discontinued. I love everything about this fragrance. If you love gourmands, this is definitely one that you need to add to your collection. You need to at least put your nose on it. Again, prices, of course, as I told you guys months ago, are starting to really spike up on this. I'm glad I have this one in my collection, man. This is a 4.2 ounce, and I'm going to cherish this. So check it out. The Gourmand Lover's Dream in the number 2 spot, fevedelicieuse. All right, guys, and in the number 1 spot, you haven't heard it yet, so you know what's coming. It's this, guys, Mizza. Mizza is number 1. Mizza. Cinnamon, honey, patchouli, and amber. It's good. I was fortunate enough again to procure this bottle for around full retail of what it would be if it was on Dior site today. I think I paid maybe $350. And right now I think they're going for $330 or somewhere around like $320. So discontinued Dior, please bring this back. I do have a big, I think it's a 6.8 ounce or 8 ounce bottle, something like 6 ounce, maybe 8 ounce. I don't know. The big bottle, 250 ml bottle of this. I told you guys I may kind of, sell a few decants on that one, so some people can experience it. But guys, this is number 1. This is one of my favorite amber fragrances now in my collection. It does have some similarities to an extent to Ombre Sultan from Serge Lutens, but it's different. It goes in a different direction. I can't tell you how good it is. I can just tell you that I'm fortunate to have it in my collection, and that's why it's number 1. Jesus Christ. Check this out if you can get a sample. This one is called Mizza. But that is it, guys. That is my time. I hope you enjoyed this video today, as I thoroughly enjoyed doing it, as I went through and ranked my Chanel La Collection Prive collection fragrances. What are your thoughts on the list, man? I would love to hear your thoughts if you smell some of these, as far as what order I put them in, down in the comment section. As always, I sincerely appreciate you guys' time and attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do, and from the bottom of my heart, I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments to like, comment, and subscribe. Please make sure, guys, you're sharing these videos out to some other folks that you think could use the information or find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darian, I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell fantastic. So until next time, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. Catch you.